my way to the gym. The weather is very good today. It's currently Bank Holiday Monday. I'm in southwest London where my parents live. And yeah, time to get a back and chest workout in. We'll be taking pre-workout and water. This pre-workout is actually dry scoopable, which is perfect because I'm going to dry scoop it. And first off, we have a flat dumbbell press. This exercise is for your chest, triceps and shoulders, and in my opinion it's much better than the barbell bench press if your goal is to build muscle. I should point out that the gym was very busy today, even though it was a bank holiday Monday, which is why I'm using the bench, which is typically used only for the barbell, because there was literally no other bench available. The main reason the dumbbell is better than the barbell for muscle building is because of the increased range of motion. Also, as each arm works individually, it avoids any muscular imbalances. For my second set, I'm actually going to reduce the weight slightly, as I want to stay within the 5 to 8 rep range. Because I only got 5 reps on the first set, which to be honest was expected, if I was to do a second set with the same weight, I'd probably get around 3 or 2 reps, which is well below my 5 rep minimum. I should also point out that because of my missing chest and my shoulder having to compensate, I do often suffer from shoulder pain when doing this exercise, some weeks it's been worse than others, but because I'm used to it and I want a bigger left chest, I'm able to push through every time. In terms of some form tips, one thing I should say is try not to keep your arms at 90 degrees to your body. You want to bend them slightly because otherwise it'll put way too much pressure on your shoulders and shoulder pain will be worse than it already is. So you can see here my arm isn't at completely 90 degrees, it's slightly angled, maybe around 80 or 70 degrees. And as I said, this is to avoid putting too much pressure on my shoulders. Finally, as with all your workouts, it's important to start off with a compound movement. So here, dumbbell chest press, it works your chest, triceps and shoulders, as in multiple body parts. Reason being, you want to reserve your strength for these exercises, as in compound exercises. And that's what I always do at the start. Next up, we have Barbell Bent-Over Rows. This exercise is for your back, primarily. It also does work your biceps slightly too. This is an exercise I've only brought back in recently after taking quite a long hiatus from it. And to be honest, my form isn't perfect. I am leaning back slightly to pull the weight, meaning that I'm using my forearms and biceps to pull the weight slightly. And that's why it's important not to switch exercises all the time, because it takes time for your body to adapt to exercises and to be able to perform the movement efficiently. But if you keep switching exercises all the time, you're always going to perform each exercise suboptimally and you're not going to build as much muscle. When I just started doing these again around 3-4 weeks ago, I was doing like 100 kgs, thinking that was cool. But really, I was eager lifting and I decided to move out the door and reduce the weight down to 70 kgs as I'm doing here. Keep in mind that unlike with the dumbbell bench press, I'm not reducing the weight in my second set because I got a significant amount of reps in my first set, meaning I expect to fall within the same range which I want to hit in my second set as well, even when using the same weight. In terms of the benefits of the barbell bent-over row, it's more for back thickness rather than back width, which we'll go on to later. So if you want to thick it back, you need to be doing rows. My favourite is actually cable seated row, which I've temporarily taken out of my routine at the moment, but the barbell bent-over row is definitely a good option. It also helps strengthen your core, as with a lot of compound exercises, but in particular this one, which is again another reason why the barbell bent-over row should definitely be in your routine if you're a beginner. Here we have my final set, which is actually going to be a drop set. A drop set means that you finish your set, go to failure, and then you reduce the weight and then keep going again until you hit failure. If you do too many drop sets, you'll wreck your energy, and they're definitely not necessary, to be honest. I just like doing them to increase the intensity of my workouts. And if you are going to do them, it's important to do them in your last set, because if you do it in a first or second set, you're just not going to have as much energy for your final set. So now here you see me taking the weight off. Luckily on this exercise it is pretty easy to take the weight off, because normally I'd recommend you only do drop sets on machines where it's much easier to reduce the weight. And then I'm going again, trying to hit failure, but this time with a lighter weight because I'm not able to continue on the heavier weight. Normally when doing drop sets, you'd reduce the weight, then go again straight away. You see here I'm taking quite a while, longer than I normally would. It wasn't intentional, I think it was just that my song finished, so I'm trying to find another one, and then getting ready to go again. Next up, we have machine pec flies, or the pec deck, as some of you may call it. This exercise is a chest isolation, meaning that no other muscles are involved apart from your chest, well, if you're doing it properly. This exercise can be quite hard to master, so it's important to not use your ego and choose a very heavy weight. Use a light weight to make sure that you're not pushing with your arms and shoulders, but that you're pushing with your chest. As with the dumbbell bench press, I also get quite a significant amount of shoulder pain when doing this exercise, especially on the later sets, but it's something I can push through and manage. But you might see me taking random abrupt stops as a result. You'll also notice that I'm going to be doing more reps on this exercise compared to the previous two. That's because this is an isolation exercise, meaning it's not as taxing on the body, and so you can kind of do more reps and not feel tired and keep going. I'm also going to be doing single arm once I've reached failure with double arm. This is pretty self-explanatory because half my chest is missing. You obviously don't need to do this. In fact, there's no point if you're doing it. But for me, it's something I do. I probably will aim to do between 5 and 8 more reps on my stronger side, as in my side with the pec there, before completely stopping the exercise. I'm actually going to end up doing the rest of the sets with the same weight, just obviously with less reps, because if you're training hard, you shouldn't be doing the same number of reps on your second set as on the first set. You should see deterioration due to the fatigue that you would have got from the first set, and then so on with the third set should be less than the second set, fourth set less than the third set, etc, etc. So I'm just going to whiz through the remaining sets, put it on double speed because it is pretty much just the same thing. Now we've got the reverse pec deck, or the rear delt flies on the machine. This targets, you guessed it, your rear delts. It's very important you train your rear delts because many people only train the side and front delt, especially the front delts. But a lot of people skip out on the rear delts, but it's very important that you do train them. With the rear delts, they're a very small muscle, so it's important to do lots of reps and use very light weight. If you're using a heavy weight, guaranteed that you're not actually moving the weight with your rear delts, you're probably moving the weight with your arms. And to get a full range of motion, you want to be pushing your arms out all the way up to the side. Also with rear delt flies, again, because your rear delts are a very small muscle, you don't need much rest time, even though I don't really track my rest anyway. But I definitely don't rest as long on this exercise as I do for, say, bench press or dumbbell press. I probably rest around 30 seconds to 20 seconds when doing this exercise, or maybe 45 seconds. As I said, I don't actually time it, because your rear delts don't need as much rest as, say, your back or chest. If I'm running super low on time, what I'll do is I'll superset this exercise and the previous one. Superset is when you do 2 exercises back to back, little to no rest in between. The only reason I superset this exercise to the previous one is because they're on the same machine, so it's just much easier and save time. And it's also, coincidentally, they are opposite muscle groups, which makes things much better. But anyway, since there's not much else to see, apart from me just doing this exercise 4 more times, or 3 more times now, I'm just going to speed up the rest of the sets for you to enjoy. quick hydration stop. Very important to keep hydrated during the workout, because even slight dehydration can significantly reduce your performance. Next up, we have a poorly filmed wide grip lat pull-down. Don't worry, the second set and third sets are filmed a bit better than this. This exercise is for your lats or upper back, but unlike with the barbell bent-over rows, which targets your thickness, which gives you thickness, this one will give you a wider back, as in giving you that back width, which is probably what most of you would want. This is another exercise which I've only brought into my routine recently. I mean, obviously I have done lat pull-downs before, and in my early years of gym, in fact for many years, probably 6 years in a row, they were constantly in my routine, but I took a break from them, concentrated on pull-ups instead. But now wide grip lat pull-downs are back in the routine. You also have the close grip obviously, as well as the maga grip, which is my favorite. This gym doesn't have it. Wide grip will target your upper lats a bit more, which again helps with the wider back and using less of your biceps compared to the close grip. It involves your biceps a bit more, but it's still a great option. It will still give you a wider back, so if you prefer that one, go for it. This is one exercise where people easily ego lift. They easily choose a weight which is way too heavy. I've done the same for many years, like literally 5-6 years in a row. But now I'm using a much lighter weight, around 52 kilos, 59 kilos, which is lighter than a lot of you are probably using. Keeping in mind, I'm over 100 kilos and I've been training for around 10 years now. What picking a heavy weight will do is it won't make your back wider, but you actually end up pulling on your forearms, biceps, so you end up with big forearms if that's what you want. But we're here doing a lat pull-down. When this exercise, we're going to target our back, which is not what using a heavy weight will do. We've just seen I implemented a drop set. This was unnecessary. I didn't need to do this. And even though you can't really see my face, I actually stopped myself early because I still have 2 more sets left at this point. And yeah, as I said, drop sets, they are very taxing and you should use them very sparingly, if at all. On my 3rd and 4th set, you'll notice I'm doing something different. I'm going very slow on the way up, as in on the eccentric part of the movement, I'm going very slow. This slow tempo training, which I do on a few exercises, not often, but on a few exercises, increases time of attention, which can help increase muscle growth. I mainly incorporated it to just improve my back. I just thought back was a weak point for me, so I just started incorporating these a while ago, back when I was doing lat pull-downs regularly, and I've just kept them in ever since because I do like doing them, and it stops me from picking a very heavy weight, which equates to ego lifting. You can time the amount of time it takes for me to go up. Let's count here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5-second eccentric, which is quite a lot to be fair, to help again increase my time and attention. Another thing with back training, or as in when you're doing wide grip lat pull-downs, or quite a lot of back exercises actually, is that you don't want to be leaning back too much. Again, that causes you to lift with your arms instead of your back. That again comes down to not choosing a weight which is too heavy. You can see here the weight I'm using is very light. I've actually dropped the weight down again when doing the slow tempo training. And this is again a guy who's been training for many years using a weight which, to be honest, your grandma probably is using more weight than this. Now I'm going to see the best exercise. It's just the same thing. Yeah, we'll see you on the next exercise. Smith machine incline bench press, which targets your upper pecs, as with all incline press exercises, it targets your upper pec. A flat press exercise, so like the flat dumbbell press which we did earlier, targets your mid chest. Decline pressing exercise will target your lower chest. As half my pec is missing, and on the side that is missing, it's only the lower pec which is missing, I just skip the decline altogether and only do the incline and flat dumbbell press. Not dumbbell press, you know what I mean. I mean, like, I only do incline and flat presses, no decline presses over here. In terms of using a Smith machine, some people don't like it. I like using it if I'm training something at the end of my workout, mainly because it's not as taxing as, say, a dumbbell press, for example, where you're having to use energy to stabilize the weight as well as push the weight. whereas with the Smith machine, stabilization is really done for you. But sometimes I'd also use the Incline chest press machine, which this gym didn't actually have, but my other gym, which I normally go to, does have. Also, a random fact, I actually found this out literally on the day I went to the gym today, but someone actually died on the Smith machine in the UK a year ago. Rest in peace, obviously. But I'm actually doing calf raises on the Smith machine, which is mental. I would not have expected that. And the one time I used the Smith machine, it's the day after I hear this news. But that's why it's always important to be safe and careful in the gym, even though I would say the gym is very safe. The fact that there's only been one death from the equipment that I've heard of means that it's much safer than, for example, taking a car. In terms of the best incline angle to use, I like the 45-degree angle. I find that any higher, I get a bit too much shoulder involvement, and then any lower just defeats the purpose of the exercise, and I might as well do a flat press. I do see some people, they do prefer higher. But yeah, I prefer the 45-degree angle myself. Finally, we have dumbbell shrugs, which targets your traps. The reason that the dumbbell shrugs are at the end and that we're only doing 2 sets is because my traps are probably one of my strongest body parts, and I'd rather focus the earlier parts of my workout where I have more energy and more fresh on my weaker body parts, for example my lats. Also, my traps are already partially involved in the Barbell Bent-Over Row, as well as face pulls, even though I didn't do face pulls today. Sometimes I do face pulls, which means that shrugs at the end, they're just a little top up, you could say. It's very important not to ego lift with exercise as with exercises, but I bring this one up because you can see it all the time where people choose weight which is way too heavy and they're not actually pulling with their traps, and they're pulling with their arms and shoulders. Your arms need to be fully extended like mine are here, and then you need to completely relax at the bottom point. So you see here, when I'm done lifting it up and putting it down, my shoulders are fully relaxed. Please forgive me, I'm not a great poser. I don't practice really ever. But yeah, here's some post-pump pictures, you could say. The session was pretty decent, to be fair. Not bad, considering leg day was yesterday. And yeah, see you soon. That's it for this video. Feel free to leave a like if you found it useful and enjoyable, and subscribe for more fitness content. I've also got a free chest workout and a free back workout, which I'm going to put a link to in the description. This workout will be a bit more beginner level and easy for you to follow. And why not follow me on Instagram as well?